If you've been running loads through Florida, Georgia, or the Carolinas for more than a couple seasons, you already know something most folks don't. Hurricanes ain't just weather events. They're business decisions that can make or break your year. I've been through Irma, Michael, Ian, and more storms than I care to count. Lost money on some, made good money on others. The difference? Having a plan before the wind starts blowing. That's what we're talking about today. Here's the deal. If you're running southeast routes from June through November, hurricane season is part of your job description. Period. Whew. I see too many drivers treat these storms like they're some kind of surprise. Oh man, there's a hurricane coming. What do I do? Brother, you should have been thinking about this back in May. This isn't about hiding under your bunk until it blows over. It's about managing risk like the business owner you are. And yeah, sometimes these storms can be profitable. I'll show you how. But first rule, no load is worth getting yourself killed over. We clear on that? Your ability to make the right call comes down to information. Good information, not some Facebook post from your cousin's neighbor. NOAA weather radio, get one. Keep it charged. When the cell towers go down in Gainesville or Jacksonville, that radio's still going to work. Know the difference between a watch and a warning. Watch means finish your prep. Warning means find a safe spot right now. Florida 511. If you don't have this bookmarked, you're doing it wrong. This thing will tell you when they shut down the Sunshine Skyway before the news even knows. Set up an account, program your regular routes. I get text alerts on my usual I-75 and I-95 runs. FloridaDisaster.org. That's where you'll find out about HOS waivers. When Hurricane Ian hit, they suspended hours of service regs for relief loads. If you're not watching for that, you're leaving money on the table. Most important decision you'll make: when to shut it down. And you decide this before you're white-knuckling your steering wheel at 35 miles per hour. High winds? If you're fighting to keep your van in the lane, you're done. I don't care if you've got a hot load to Tampa. An empty 53-footer is a 500-square-foot sail. I've seen good drivers flip their rigs because they pushed it too far. Water over the road? Doesn't matter if you think your truck can make it. You can't see what's under that water. Could be a washed-out bridge, could be a sinkhole. Turn around. I know a guy who put his Pete in a canal near Lake Okeechobee trying to push through standing water. Don't be that guy. Zero visibility. If you can't see a quarter mile ahead in that rain, park it. Pull off safe, put your flashers on, and wait it out. Here's where most drivers screw up. They wait too long to find a spot. Good parking disappears fast when everyone's trying to get off the road. Plan A is truck stops and rest areas. But here's the thing. You got to shut down hours before everyone else to get a spot. That Flying J in Ocala, it's going to be packed. You need to be there by noon if the storm's hitting that evening. Plan B, reserved parking apps. Yeah, it costs money. Truck Parking Club, other apps, but you know what costs more? Having no place to park when that storm hits. I pay for a guaranteed spot in Valdosta when I'm running north from Florida. Worth every penny. Plan C is last resort stuff. Walmart parking lots, empty shopping centers. It's probably illegal, and mall security might try to move you right when the storm's getting bad. Only do this when you got no other choice. When you do park, face into the wind. Reduces your profile. And use wheel chocks, the heavy-duty ones, not those plastic toys. Your trailer type changes everything about how you handle these storms. Dry van guys, you're basically pulling a billboard. That side profile will tip you over faster than you think. Park nose into the wind, period. And that hurricane rain, whew, it's pressurized rain. It'll find every little gap in your door seals. If you're hauling electronics or anything that can't get wet, tape those seams. I learned this the hard way with a load of furniture after Hurricane Irma. Reefer drivers, your fuel is everything. Dead reefer equals total loss. I always top off my reefer tank and carry an extra 5-gallon can when there's weather coming. And before the wind picks up, shut that unit down at the breaker and cover it. Flying debris will trash your condenser faster than you can say insurance claim. Flatbed guys, listen up. Your load can turn into a bunch of missiles real quick. This isn't just about protecting freight. It's about liability. You don't want to be the guy whose lumber took out somebody's house. DOT minimums. Forget about it. Double your straps. I don't care if it looks like overkill. I ran a load of steel down to Fort Myers right before Hurricane Ian. Used twice the straps I normally would. Good thing, too. Saw what was left of trucks that didn't. Hurricane netting for loose stuff like pipe or lumber. That's your backup when a strap lets go. And check your securement every time you stop. I'm talking every fuel stop, every rest break. Wind gets under one loose board and the whole load can shift. Now here's where you can make some money if you play it smart. Hurricanes create a predictable market cycle. Pre-storm evacuation, 72 to 24 hours before landfall. Shippers are desperate to get freight out of the storm's path. I picked up a load in Orlando heading to Atlanta 2 days before Ian hit. Paid $3.50 a mile because nobody else would take it. Then comes the inbound relief stage, first week after the storm. This is where the real money is. Water, ice, food, generators, all heading into the disaster zone. After Ian, I was getting $4.20 a mile on loads from Georgia into Southwest Florida. Normally, that lane pays maybe $2.50. The key is positioning yourself. If you're already north of the storm when it hits, you're in prime position for those relief loads. Week 2 through maybe 2 months after, that's the reconstruction phase. Flatbed guys, this is your time. Lumber, roofing materials, heavy equipment, these rates stay high for months. After Michael hit the panhandle, flatbed rates from Atlanta to Panama City stayed elevated until Christmas. But watch out for the deadhead trap. All that freight is going into the disaster zone. Nothing's coming out. You might get a great rate going in, but if you got a deadhead 400 miles to find your next load, you just gave back all your profit. Always calculate round-trip profitability. That $4 a mile load into Fort Myers doesn't look so good when you got a deadhead to Orlando empty to find freight. FEMA loads, this is graduate level stuff, can be very profitable, but you better know what you're doing. First thing, you're not dealing with FEMA directly. You're dealing with a broker who has a contract with FEMA. Vet that broker hard. Check their credit rating, their payment history. I've seen drivers wait months to get paid because they didn't check out who they were really working for. Get everything in writing. The rate con is your Bible. Verbal promises don't pay truck payments. Detention is where you make or lose money on these loads. I'm talking days, not hours. Get a daily detention rate. I usually ask for $1,000 a day with a cap around $4,000 and get it in writing. Be self-sufficient. You're going to be sitting in a disaster zone. Bring food, water, extra fuel. Plan to be there for a week and get set up with a factoring company before you need it. FEMA loads can take 60, 90 days to pay. You can't wait that long for your money. Look, I've made good money on hurricane loads, and I've also sat out storms when it wasn't worth the risk. The key is having a plan, making smart decisions, and never forgetting that your safety comes first. No load is worth your life or your truck. If this helped you think through your hurricane strategy a little different, hit that like button and subscribe. We've got more real-world training coming that can help you run smarter and safer out there. Stay safe, driver.